So, I'm sitting here with at Get Faded Show. Oh, don't worry about it.
It's too late now.
All right. So Michael's over there in the corner. You need to flip that camera so they can see you.
All right.
Yeah, don't be. Nah, we're not hiding behind no camera. Stop playing. We ain't doing that. But anyway,
Hello.
there we go. That's the engineer right there. Okay. So today I wanted to talk about. Do you remember? Do you remember? Like I had posted a post of maybe like the beginning of September, and I was saying how God's going to remember. He's going to remember September. He's going to remember you in September. I was thinking about like, you know, the song. I had broke the lyrics down to the song, and it was talking about and you know, it's not coincidence that September 21st, well 22nd is the beginning of the fall equinox, and how it's basically talking about how the sun is above, and now y'all can correct me if I'm wrong, but how the sun is above the equator, and how the days and the nights equal out. So I was thinking about balance, you know what I'm saying, and that's not coincidence because Libra is the balance, like the balance of the scales and the justice. And I was thinking about how, you know, everything that we go through in life, it balances out, like with the change of the seasons, like what you went through in summer, like your summer could have been a hell of a summer, like, you know what I'm saying, but what you went through in summer, if you really pay attention, if you really like go inside, you start feeling different when September starts. I don't know about you, but like I could feel that the air is different. Yes.
You start feeling it like towards the middle of August in the morning, and then as the days go on,
it gets
September,
cooler.
It starts getting cooler,
and the nights get longer, and you start. I mean, yeah, the nights get shorter. No, wait, the nights get shorter.
No, they be longer.
They be longer.
Yeah.
I never could get that quite right. I never could get that right. Like fall back, spring forward. I never could get that right. But no, but like how the nights get longer, and how things, they kind of balance out. You know, so I was just thinking about like everybody I talked to in the past couple of days, we was talking about remembering. You know, and I was thinking about how sometimes God gives us the ability to remember and the ability to forget. You know, like I saw, I'm all over the place, y'all know that, but I saw a rainbow today, and a rainbow is significant of God remembering his promise. How many promises have been made to you that were broken?
Probably a lot.
How many promises that were made to, or how many promises that you made that you broke?
Probably a lot.
Yeah.
Intentionally, maybe unintentionally, but a lot.
But I realized that he's not really concerned about the promises that you've broken. Like I'm telling you, everybody I talked to the past couple of days, it was just talking about remembering, and I was talking to somebody. Oh, I want to break that thing up, Jesus! No, let me say. I was talking to somebody yesterday, and she was saying how she was going through something, and how she remembered where she was last year this time, and how she had to remember how she got through it. And so I was telling her, I was like, well, you know, touch the tree. I was like, you know, you touch the tree, it'll ground you, you know, it'll make you feel better, blah, blah, blah. She was like, I forgot. And she was like, basically what she was saying was she forgot what got her through the last attack.
And that's important to remember, to stay, and they say, like, when people are going through addiction and they're recovering, they want you to remember that last high, you know, the last time you got high, remember that feeling, remember how you felt. That's what, like, a part of recovery is to remember that dark place that you're in, because when you come out, it's going to be easy to go back if you don't remember the pain that you've had and experienced during that time. So it is important to remember points.
That's just like today, right? I remember. Well, I don't eat Chinese food, dog.
Okay. Yes. Those are the times.
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
It was a whole spontaneous combustion. I was like, this is why I don't eat this Chinese
Yeah,
chicken.
but you remember, and
I
that's exactly
remember.
why. And that's the same thing with somebody that's that they're getting high, and you be like, dang, I remember that feeling when I took that last hit, and I'm clean now, and I'm making all this progress. I gotta remember that. Or somebody that's heavy in addiction, regardless of the case may be, if you're taking, pills or shooting up or even drinking or sex or shopping or whatever the case may be, if you have an addiction that takes more power over you, remember how you are, because once you come out of that, it's a fight to go back in and come back out. So that's just like being in a hole. And there was it's like a short story poem or something that was like, there was a hole, I walked by the hole, I fell in it. The next time I walked by, I still fell in it, but I was able to get out a little bit quicker the second time.
Because I remember what I needed to do
to get out of the hole. So now the third time I walked by, I walked around the hole. The fourth time, I didn't even go on the same street. I went on a whole other street because I know that hole was still there. So you're remembering these things, and okay, the first time I fell in the hole, I knew what it took to get out. I was able to get out the second time because I remembered. Now I remember, okay, it's a hole in that street. I'm going to walk on the other side of the street. Then you think, okay, I remember it's a hole. Let me take a whole nother street because now I'm remembering it's a hole down there. So I'm just going to take a whole nother street, but you got to keep it in the forefront of your mind. When I was in that hole, it was hard for me to get out that first time. Yes, I did remember how to get out, but I don't want to be stuck because there might be another obstacle that's thrown on top. What if there's a lid on top of that hole? The next time, I might not be able to get out as easy as I was the second time. So I'm remembering all of these things to take me back to.
So then I was thinking about also too how forgetting. Like, so I was talking to someone today, and I was saying how we can hold ourselves in a prison, remembering something that somebody else has totally forgot. Totally forgot. Like I'm telling you, it's just like with God. Like, He don't remember certain things. So why? Hence, that's why we have guilt and why we have all these things, because He doesn't remember. So why are we holding ourselves in a prison over something that has been completely forgotten? It's like, again, we always talk about this. It's like you constantly keep remembering when you're supposed to forget. So that's why I was saying that it's important for the ability to be able to remember and to forget.
I agree. 100%.
It's very important, because you cannot move forward by keep remembering.
Or even if you don't all the way forget, put it in the back, because I'm sure even if you say God forgets, maybe not necessarily forget, because He remembers each strand on your head. How many strands you have on your head. It might not be the bald-headed one. You might got a whole bunch of hair. He know. So
this weave.
He know how many strands is in your weave.
Okay. Come on here.
But He chooses not to magnify it. Because it's so much more that He can magnify. To me, I feel like, all right, I did something. I asked you for forgiveness. All right, we're going to wipe that slate clean. I ain't forget. But we're not going to go about it. We're not going to talk about it. It's in the past now. Let's move forward, because I got so much more for you.
But some people don't. Some people don't know how to constantly keep not remembering the offense.
Yeah.
And that is very hard. It's so crazy how we just discovered that the Libra season is connected to the heart chakra. And broken promises, broken hearts. Like I was just thinking about how you were saying how you was in the park and how you was just picking up the energy of the people and like just the broken hearts of the people. But I believe that in this season, all of that is going to be balanced out. Like you won't remember anymore those things that broke you, those things that hurt you, those things that tore you down. You won't remember that anymore. It's forgotten.
And that's a struggle. I'm going to say it's a struggle, and I'm going to say that for me, I could say, like, there's a lot of things that past hurts and past situations that you be like, you know what, I'm going to forget. And then as soon as somebody come and make you feel that same type of pain, it's hard to forget. It's hard to say, like, you know what, like, prime example for me, I know that there's some things that I've dealt with in the past.
Should I have it on you? Go ahead.
Go ahead.
Go ahead, Jesus. I'm just saying, I don't know how to do this, and I'm mad I'm holding this, but go ahead.
It's some things that I, experienced in the past, and something could trigger it right now, just like that, you know. And it's like
Definitely.
a smell or the way
Remembering.
somebody remember. Yeah, so I
Remembering.
remember, and it's like some things you kind of want to leave in the past. You want to let it go, and things trigger it just that quick. And you could go back to feeling that same. It could have been something I could have felt at 9 years old, and as how old I am now. I could still go back to that 9-year-old little girl because I'm remembering. So you do have to have that balance and forget, or just forgive, and let it go. Forgive yourself.
Yes. Yeah, and that's what I said. I said you're walking around with something because you haven't forgiven yourself.
Exactly.
And that's really what it is. That's really what it is. You haven't forgiven yourself. That's just like the other day, man. Somebody tore me up the other day, yo. I mean, tore me up. Yeah. Okay, but I remembered. You know, it was a trigger. It really was a trigger because at that point in time, But at this point in time, no. And I'm not gonna let you hold me in a jail cell over a trigger.
And that's really what you're doing. You've been free. They done let you
What?
go. They done set you free, and you're holding yourself in bondage for whatever reason. Are you comfortable here? And I say this for myself. Am I comfortable here? Is it the fear of not, getting over to a different place? Are you afraid of the unknown? Why are you holding yourself in the prison and you're set free? It's just like it sounds almost ridiculous, but it's like
It's not
you
ridiculous.
did a 5-year
It's
bid,
self-sabotage.
and that's exactly
It's
what it is. 'Cause
self-sabotage.
let's say you did a 5-year bid for something, they locked you up, you're doing that time, and then the warden comes to you and say, "Hey, it's time for you to go." And you're like, "Nah, I'm good here." Said no one ever.
But a lot of people are now. That's another thing too. A lot of people are comfortable. That's so crazy. A lot of people are comfortable in bondage.
Repeat
We just
offenders.
Talked about that. They're
Repeat
comfortable
offenders.
there because it is again the trigger of the freedom. Sometimes you know what I'm saying. Like I had said to someone, I said, I'm not saying you did it per se, but it looks familiar.
Absolutely.
I'm not saying you've done it, but it looks familiar because I remember the pain of what I went through. So I'm not saying you did it. It's just familiar.
But you know what? On that flip side, and it's something that just triggered with me just now. It's also on the flip side. You could think that somebody is.
Can you see something? Go ahead. I'll bet.
It's if you have that same trigger for somebody. Let's say that it's familiars, but it's a familiar feeling of good, and that person might not be that person, but because they did something to make you feel good, and now you're feeling these great feelings on something that So it's got to be a balance, and it's always balance. You got to be able to have the discernment to know this is good and it's familiar. This is good. This is bad. It is familiar, or this don't have nothing to do with this.
This don't have nothing to do with me.
And oranges.
Yep. And that's what I said. I thought about it. I said that ain't had nothing to do with me. That's something that whatever you felt I gave you, that was something that you was dealing with. So it was a trigger for you.
Yes.
And I just got the remnants of whatever was triggering you. It didn't have nothing to do with me.
Yes, absolutely.
I just caught the bullet, like what we was listening to in the car.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Yep. I got caught in the crossfire, but it didn't have anything to do with me. And a lot of people, that's really what it is. It's the ability to remember and ability to forget. You have to forget those things behind you to move forward to what's in front of you.
Absolutely.
That is the only way to freedom. That is the only way. You can't get free remembering past pain. You have to let it go. Mike, what's your take, sir? Can you see him? Can they see you?
Well, they can see me with the big screen behind me.
Yes.
Okay, so I don't need this.
Well, I mean, you can hold it like that.
Hold it.
Yeah, I need a panorama. It's like, no, let me see.
It's. I just feel like in life, you just gotta know where your transitions are.
I agree with that.
Okay.
And a lot of times we stay around in situations, not realizing when we should have left the situation. And I feel like over time we do ourselves a great injustice,
Injustice,
Injustice.
Libra,
Yep. Yep.
scales, balance.
scales,
That's it. Come on here.
you do
Yes.
yourself injustice by staying around
Wow, longer than what you.
the nouns in like people, places, and things too long.
Too long.
Because
Wow.
the season is changing,
Yep.
and just like we can tell the summer from the fall, we should be able to tell when our season is up with certain people.
Wow.
And a lot of times we just are reluctant to have a come to Jesus moment. Where it says, okay, it's time to go. It's time to let this go. Time to move on. Some seasons only last for a week. Other ones, they last for years. But if you can't tell when it's time for you to tap out, it's a wrap.
But sometimes you can mix up your seasons, because Lord knows I wear some shorts to the doggone winter, child. You know what I'm saying? Like sometimes you can mix up your.
But with that, and I think that what he said was really like the part where he said to know.
Yeah, to know.
That's
Yeah.
the discernment, and I feel like that's the biggest part.
That is so
like, the
stupid. Why am I
biggest-
doing that? Can I put this phone down? I'm sorry,
Put it
y'all.
down. Put it down.
Yeah, because wait. Sorry, Jesus. No. Y'all just want to. Oh, there we go. Okay, come on. I had a
Well, she needs
makeshift
to,
thing, but they can't see us. They can only
can't
hear
see-
us.
Wait, they can
I don't
only-
know.
Well, you can see it
That's
on the
so
screen.
ghetto. But anyway, I don't know.
They see it on the
But
screen.
anyway, they can see it on the screen. There you go. Yes. Okay. So okay, we did it. Okay, we made it happen. The responsibility of freedom.
We gotta pop in.
Yeah. Hey, Mondo. The responsibility of freedom. What do you mean? But so like I said, when I was talking to the person, I was just kind of like, you're holding on to something, you're remembering something that has really already been promised to you. It's been. Hi, Sylvia.
Hey,
Hey, how you doing?
okay, bro.
I don't know what part you heard and didn't hear, but we were talking about. Remember how today we was talking about when you came to get your hair done today? We was talking about remembering
Yes.
and how I don't really remember the whole conversation because once it leave, it leave. But chime in, tell me what we talked about today.
So we were talking about remembering, just remembering. I remember, but we were talking about how it's escaping me now too. I'm
No. When
sorry.
you
Like,
came in, you said, "Remember what you said to me," and I was like, "No, I don't remember." And you was telling me that I had said something to you, that had come to pass, and you was like, because when I was telling you, you didn't really receive it. You was kind of like, "I ain't doing that," blah 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 blah, and I was like,
yeah.
"I'm telling you, just do it." And well, not just do it, but I was just kind of like, "I'm telling you, just." Whatever. And you said that when you went back and did it helped you, you know what I mean, and it helped the other person, and it helped the situation, you know what I mean. But what was going on was you were remembering the offense but not the purpose, you know. So yeah, so what is your take on that? What is your take on remembering and forgetting certain things? Like, you had to forget the offense for the forgiveness
To move forward with that. That was hard.
Yeah.
Because when you said it to me, you said give the person grace. And I wanted to, but I felt so offended by what was done to me that I couldn't give that space for her to be human, right? And make mistakes and be in her emotions about things. And taking a step back, it's like, well, maybe she was really going through a lot of things. And maybe you should just say, you know what? Let's just talk about it. Even if we don't continue with the friendship or anything, at least we're having a conversation and there's no ill will or heartbeat on either part. And after that, giving her that grace and then allowing myself to say, you know what, I wasn't right. Like, not that I wasn't right, but it's
Jeez.
okay that you felt a way before, but now you realize that maybe you were wrong in this situation, right? Like, there was a better way to handle, or there's a better way to handle it now.
But I don't necessarily know if it was right or wrong. I just think it was just a different in perception, or just lack of communicate. Lack of communication
And that's
is
a big thing.
it will have your thoughts. Like, we was in the car listening to Wild Thoughts, right? You could see something, and I saw something the other day. My mom was about to go 50 million miles a minute, but I stopped myself and I was like, maybe I'm not seeing what I think I see. That goes back to going inside and letting it kind of come to you. You know what I mean?
We talked about this.
Yeah.
Because I was like, oh, let me get my glasses and reread
So I
it,
can
and so I
see.
can see.
You know what I'm
because I
saying?
read the whole message and was mad.
Yes.
And when I put my glasses on, I was like, oh, I might have been a little bit more upset than I should have been because I couldn't see.
And what you saw,
And
that's
I
just
saw
like
something different.
but something totally
It was
different.
something different.
Right.
I think I saw words that I wasn't really there, and I'm like, oh, you really trying to. But when I looked at it, I was like, oh, that wasn't even what I thought it was. Because
And that's what I was saying. Like, I had posted something the other day. I was like, you know, what you see and what I see may differ. I might not see what you see. You know what I'm saying? And you can't even go off of that. Listen, you can't go off what you see sometimes because it's perception.
and
Everybody's perception is different. You know, but I'm glad that you were able to, like you said, I wasn't right, you know, but I'm glad that you were able to receive that because it gave you a better perception. And now you ain't got that on you. You ain't holding her over no barrel. She ain't holding you over no barrel. You done been set free.
And that freedom is something
You done been set free. You ain't even thinking about that thing. You good. And that's what I was saying. Like, sometimes we holding on to something, right? And ain't nobody even think that, like, I'm really not thinking about that. Like, my mind is not even on that. You know what I'm saying? But because your thoughts, that it go back to that ego.
Talk about that ego.
Ego. Well, honey, we about to hit Scorpio season, and that is death of the ego. Transformation, death, rebirth. You know what I'm saying? Because you have to die to be reborn. A part of you has to. I say this all the time. A part of you has to die daily. Daily. So,
you have to lose yourself to become the higher self that God created for you to be.
Exactly. You have to lose yourself. You cannot be at your highest potential if you do not lose yourself.
Yep.
And you lost yourself when you I don't know who reached out to who first, and it don't matter too, because you know, like, sometimes you'll be like, I ain't calling them. I ain't doing that. I ain't, like the other day, what me and you talked. Look, you know what, a genius. Okay, like what we talked about the other morning, and you was like, I ain't the right person.
Baby, I'll tell you too. Like, listen, I'm not.
And you too. You was like, I ain't doing that. And I was like, I'm telling you, just do it. Because you really don't know what that person needs at that time. And it's not about us. It's really not. Like, I was talking to somebody today about doing things on purpose versus doing things with purpose. I feel like there's a big difference.
It's a big difference. It's a
Huge.
Big difference.
Yeah.
To me, I feel like when you're walking in your purpose, when you're walking in your purpose, it's divinely orchestrated. When you're walking with purpose, it's an intention. So to me, I feel like there's a huge difference.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Because I feel like sometimes when it's with purpose, it'll have you doing things you don't want to do. Like how you said them signs was everywhere.
Oh my goodness. It was not, it was so clear of what I needed to do that I fought it. I fought it, but I knew that in order for me to get to this next level, this next step, we were talking about obedience.
You said what?
We were talking about obedience.
Obedience.
So we was talking about that today in the shop. I was like,
that's what it was.
Yes, I was saying how obedience is better than sacrifice. You had to sacrifice yourself and be obedient to reach out to her, and I bet you she felt better. You felt better.
Yeah.
You have a
And
complete. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was just gonna say, because of, I feel everything that transpired within the last like 48 hours was because of the obedience, right? There was doors that have been open that I've been wanting to have open
Mhm.
because of the obedience that I shown. Like, oh,
Mhm.
okay, this is
Mhm.
freedom. And I remember that's what we were also saying earlier. Obedience is freedom.
Yeah. See what they saying. Mhm. Go
Like
ahead.
that is where you will find.
Leave that paper behind.
I've realized that that's find your freedom in your peace with God for me, and that's where I'm finding it is being obedient,
Yeah.
even if it doesn't look like what I say that I want. I know that I can't always see everything on the board, and God can. So it's like, you know what? I'm gonna step out on faith. I'm gonna believe what you're saying, Lord. If you're showing me that this is what I'm supposed to do, I'm gonna do it. I may
And it's
not want to, and
uncomfortable.
but I'm gonna do it.
That is
And it's uncomfortable. I'm
very
telling you,
uncomfortable.
like when you're being stretched,
Mm-hmm.
it's uncomfortable. It don't feel good, and you don't want to. You be like, all right, when you used to doing something a certain way for so long, cause it's so easy to be like, if you always operating in, I ain't doing that. I'm not doing it. I don't care. I ain't doing
Me.
it. And I got on you this morning. Stop
Me.
playing. Like,
Stop
you know what I'm saying? No, for
playing.
real. You know, and it's like we you two. But when you used to, that's why you laughing, you cracking up. But no, when you used to, when you used to operating like that,
Mm-hmm.
it's so easy. It's hard to be like, all right, cause you gotta double your chin down. You gotta humble yourself.
Mm-hmm.
You know that's not
Mm-hmm.
easy. You get that. I always talk about that lump in your throat. You get that lump in your throat. It's not easy, but the blessings that come with that. I'm
Mm-hmm.
telling you, yo. I'm telling you, I got cursed out the other day. And I'm telling you, I wanted to be like, oh, all right. You know what I'm saying? But I was like, I said, God, you handle it. You deal with it. And the next day, the blessing that I got the next day by not bending and by not conforming to you
Mm-hmm.
blew my mind. And I was crying and everything. I'm telling you, my feelings was hurt. Yeah, you hurt my feelings. My
Mm-hmm.
feelings was hurt. But because I did not bend, the blessing that I got the next day, then that
Yeah.
was my obedience. My obedience was to shut up.
Yeah.
Don't
And
say
that-
nothing.
Yeah.
No, that for real, that was
no,
my because there was a
that's-
time where okay.
And
Mm-hmm.
you don't even be knowing.
Yeah. You don't even Lord, I thank you. I'm
Mm-hmm.
telling you, there was a time but my
And that's
obedience
that.
go ahead.
I was just gonna say that's sometimes not doing it is God saying, "Mm-mm.
I got
Now's
this.
not you to say something. Now's not you to do anything. I just need you to say."
And I just need you to let me handle it.
Yeah.
You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Let me deal with it because I got it. I got it, but you really have to be careful. I don't know if this is still have to do with remember. Yeah, because you remember. You
Yeah,
remember
you
there was a
remember.
time
Yeah.
when you used to would have popped off. You know what I'm saying? And it's yeah, and it's kind of like yeah.
They done said something that hurt your feelings. Now I gotta go harder
Yeah.
and hurt
Mm-hmm.
yours, and maybe
Yeah.
punch you in your face in the meantime. I'm just being honest.
Hey, I'm
That's-
keeping it real.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's real, but there is such a like I said, there's such a humility in just being like, okay. You know, me and my girlfriend always talk about this. There's power in those two letters. There's
Mm-hmm.
so much power in
Okay.
okay.
Oh,
It means so much. Okay. It doesn't mean you won or I lost. It's a balance. We just left it right there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said something to somebody the other day. I was just like, let it go. We're not going to remember this anymore.
Yeah.
We're going to keep moving past this point.
Yeah.
We're going to keep
Mhm.
going past this point. We're not going to keep bringing this up
Yeah.
because we will never.
Go higher.
We'll
'Cause
never
you're
go
staying
higher.
in the same
I
place
ain't
in that
staying
stagnant growth.
That was
Mhm.
yesterday.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
not staying there.
Yeah.
I'm not holding you hostage there. We're going to keep going.
Especially if you're not the same person. I'm not the same person I was yesterday.
You ain't the same
I'm
person
not
you
the-
was 2 seconds ago.
Yeah, I was about to say I'm not the same person I was this
No.
morning.
And neither are you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So,
But so what do you remember? Like what do you remember that what do you remember that you asked God for that you thought he forgot.
Mm.
That you
Seven.
thought he, yeah, come on here. Yes, that you
Mhm.
thought he forgot.
Mm-hmm.
And then when he presents it to you, you forgot that you even asked him for it.
That's what you just said that a few minutes ago.
Okay, you want me to
Mm.
break it down again, mother?
Mm-hmm.
Want to break it down again?
Mm.
What
Oh,
did you, oh yeah, what did you remember
mhm.
that you asked God for? The universe, God, whatever.
Right.
That you forgot,
Mhm.
right? That you asked him for it. And when he presents it to you, you forgot that you even asked him, but he remembered.
Mm.
Say your heart was broke, right?
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
And you say, God, I need you to heal this pain in my heart because it hurts so bad. My God.
Mm-hmm.
You say, God, I need you to heal this pain in my heart because it hurts so bad. I need you to pay this bill because I can't pay it. I'm in debt. Yada, 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 yada. And he does it. But you forgot that you even asked him for it because he didn't do it when you thought he should do it, but he still did it.
Mhm.
Or he didn't do it the way you thought he should do it, but he still did it. And you forgot that you even asked him to do it, but he remembered. He remembered the promise
Mhm.
that he gave to you, and you forgot that you even asked him.
I can tell you that several times.
What do you remember?
Remember.
Oh no, what did you forget that he remembered?
What- so I, when I first started school last September, becoming an SD, I had prayed that I wanted to start my own business, all of these things, learn and all of these things. Asking God like for all of these things when I first started. Once I started to find God that I got a little bit more complacent and everything. I was just like, all right, but my money wasn't what I felt it should be. So I was like, Lord, I don't know what's going on. When I when I let go of, well, I feel like I completed the mission and I was obedient to what God told me about my the other day going to an event, I was reminded of why I got here. I was given a mentor. I was connected with somebody who was able to say, "Hey, I see, I see your potential. I see this. I can help you." And that just, I asked for this, and I forgot
Wow. You forgot.
because I hadn't had it. I've been looking for it, and I felt like I was just like, "All right, well, I'm gonna just do it myself. Forget it. I'll just figure it out. I'm just gonna do it on my own."
Mm-hmm.
And God was like, "Just wait.
Because he
Just wait.
remembers.
Get yourself in
He
position.
remembers.
Just wait."
Mm-hmm.
And now, I think I told you earlier, Monday, I'm off of work, and now boom, I already have something that I've been waiting for months, and it's come to pass.
And it's, I'm telling you. I'm telling you. It's, he doesn't remember. I mean, he doesn't forget
Mm.
what you asked him for. He does not. And I'm guilty of that too. I'll be like,
He
oh, because
waits
I
until
think it didn't show up when I thought it should show up. Oh, he forgot. He ain't thinking about me. Child. He
it's not until
remembers.
you receive it. If I would have that months ago, I would not have appreciated that now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So nothing is gonna happen before its time anyway. That is something I definitely can say. Nothing will happen before its time anyway. Like even if you know that you forgot what you asked God for, He hasn't forgotten, but He still's not gonna give it to you until He knows that you're ready to act.
Mm-hmm. Because
That is
if he would have
definitely.
gave it to you at that time, right? I know
Mhm.
me. If he would have gave me some things at that time, I'd have messed it up. Especially
Oh
if he
yeah.
would have gave me something at that time in my life then where I thought I should have had it, I'd have jacked it up.
And that's
Yeah.
why he told us to wait a lot of
I'd have
times
tore it
because
up.
we not ready.
No.
We think we ready,
No.
but we not ready.
I'd have
We
tore it
not ready.
up.
That's for the businesses. That's for romantic
I was just
interests.
about to
That's
say, yeah.
for houses, cars, things of that nature. I know it's been plenty of times. I remember being 17. I didn't know how to drive, and I wanted this car so bad. I told, oh, I could pay for it. I could pay for it, and I didn't get it. Didn't get it. It was so sad. But I promise you, that first car I had, we thought we was going everywhere. I got hit every single angle from the back, both corners, both sides, both parts, and the top of the car. Somebody threw something out of a truck coming off of I was on 22, and it was like one of the overpass or something like that. Threw something over that and hit the top of my car. Everything. So I would have been sick if I had put all that money into this brand new car. 17, I didn't know that, I didn't know how to drive all that great or whatever. So now, you get older, you can appreciate, because I would have tore that car up. It would have been very sad if something fell off the top of, the overpass as I'm driving through on a car with the sunroof that I wanted. But it wasn't time.
It wasn't, and that's what we were just talking about. We were talking about that earlier today. Time is so, and I'm gonna be honest, y'all. Okay, so because I'm a stylist, time is important with me because I'm a stylist. So everything is chop, 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 chop. Like I don't, like I used to be so bad. Like if you, I go pick up my friends, right? Like, okay, I said I'm gonna be there at 7:30. It's 7:32. Why you ain't outside? Why you ain't ready? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's going on? And I used to get so mad if somebody tell me they coming by and they don't come at the time where they said they was coming. I'm looking like, okay, but you said but I had to work on that. And now I even see where I don't even like
meet your own
clock no more. I'm just kind of like, all right, you know what I'm saying? Like it's okay. Like the anxiety is gone. And I was telling her how I had went somewhere today, right? And how at that time, that was a couple years ago. At that time, where my mindset was at that time, when I went to the same place tonight, my mindset wasn't there. It was a total different energy. So I could see the growth in where I was then and where I am now. So I was grateful to have been reminded. And I also was saying how he will always send a reminder for you to remember. Always.
But that's what those triggers are.
Yeah, that's what those triggers are. It will always be a reminder for you to remember. And it's up to you really what you do with that. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not always, triggers are there. We talked about that today, too. Yes, we talked about, remember we talked about that today? Like, triggers are there. But, remember, I'm telling you, remember, see? Nah, but triggers are there, but it's up to you what to do with those triggers because it might not be what you think you're seeing. And you can mess something up by speaking out of term over something that you thought that you saw because you're triggered.
Yep. And then he says something to people, places, and things. I mean, I'm going back to that recovery thing, but that's what they want to keep you away from when you're going through recovery. Staying away from people, places, and things that are going to keep you triggered because, okay, it's okay to once in a while be triggered to remember, but to stay there and to wallow in it or to live in it, that's not healthy either.
No,
so you got to, that balance.
That balance.
We always talk about that balance. We always talk about that balance.
Anybody else want to chime in? We can send you the link.
Sylvia, what sign are you? I'm all in here.
She's a Sagittarius.
Sagittarius.
She's the archer. The firecracker, okay? She done softened up, child. Let me tell you something. How many times you done came to see me now?
Girl.
I done softened up, Lord.
Every time I come, like, okay, so you were right about this, and you were right about that too. Remember you told me last week? Yeah, that came to pass. So no, it's definitely, I have been enjoying our talks. Coming to get my hair done, like I really, really have been like, okay.
And I met her, I'm going to tell them how I met you. I met her, I took a lash class, remember?
Yeah.
Girl, and I'm going to talk about it. Let me tell you something. When I came to that lash class, baby, I remember. If you knew what I was going through when I took that lash class, nobody knew it. That's grace. Nobody knew what I was going through. Nobody knew what I went through the night before to even get to the last class, okay? Nobody knew it. And I ain't going to, but nobody knew it. I was broke down. But and even in the last class, I'm still having to overcome what I'm going through in the last class. And even though it's crazy because I didn't even go nowhere with the lashes. I tried it, but I was like, nah, Lord, this takes too long. Jesus, I ain't got the patience for this, Lord. You know, I ain't got it. I ain't got it. But the purpose. Look where we are today. Look where you sitting today. And I'm telling you, I'm grateful. And I thank you. I thank you for coming on. I'm grateful because look where we are today. So that was the purpose. The purpose wasn't them lashes.
No.
It was meeting you. And then I saw you again at Five Below.
Yes.
Yeah. I remembered. What?
I was in school at the time too.
See? See? I'm telling you, it's you know, I was you know, we plan things in our heart, but it's purpose that prevails. Right. It's God's purpose that prevails. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling you. So me meeting you at that lash class ain't had nothing to do with them lashes.
No, because neither of us looking at the certificate of completion right now over here.
Like, and we got bamboozled, Lord. Now and we got played out. No, all of us.
Let's talk about that. Okay. Like,
can I have a refund, Lord? No, let me stop playing. But I would trade you for the world.
I really do appreciate you. I really, really do. I love you. And thank you so much for coming on.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. You're welcome. I guess that's it. Bye. I send you the link. Ain't nobody.
You know, I gotta pack. I gotta start packing for tomorrow.
And don't forget. Look, don't forget what you need. No.
Right.
Make sure you remember.
Make sure you remember. Okay.
I love you, girl.
Bye, Sylvia. I love you. Thank you.
Bye.
But anyway, so yeah. So Mike,
I was just about to go like, so
yeah,
Mike,
let's
what do
get
you
Mike.
take on this, Mike?
So what do you remember that you asked God for that you forgot that you asked this guy?
All right. Here we go.
I want to see if so. I guess I shouldn't be asking that on the thing.
All right. Well, what I ask God for is what I'm doing right now. I think I shared the story in the first episode where it was December 2019. I was going to see my brother, and I spent my bill money on photography lights right here. There's a whole set of them. The rest of them is in the back, and I had no idea it had morphed into what I'm doing now. I just felt led to buy some lights. Didn't even have cameras. Didn't have none of this stuff that y'all see here. But I knew with everybody being inside, like before everybody went, this before the pandemic jumped off. And I just had a feeling I had to get ready. I didn't know what I was getting ready for. I just knew I thought about lights. Next you know, it came up in the Amazon feed. I don't know how they magically do this stuff, but
that ain't magic.
I was about to say,
let me tell you something.
Right. So it comes down the feed, and it was like a whole package with the backdrop and everything. I was like, all right, click. Bought it. Got the lights was delivered while I was away, so I came back, unpacked everything. I still didn't know what I was doing, but I know even before the lights, I asked God to put me on the path where I'm supposed to be, like where I need to be going. And so God, per usual, He'll never give you all of it at one time.
I'm telling you, like Blue's Clues. I'm telling you, it's crazy.
And when I got back, I got the lights, set them up in the same space. Then I'll say, okay, now what I'm going to do for cameras. So then I started doing research, realized that I can use iPhones. And I'm like, oh, snap. So now I have a whole TV studio that I'm shooting. I don't know if y'all feel like it's quality, but
quality, like
I was able to save thousands of dollars on not buying cameras I thought I needed. When I had, these are new, but the first iPhones I had was old ones that didn't even have a SIM card in them anymore. They was when I was able to get a decent enough video, and I was able to do more than one angle. So now I got lights, I got cameras, and if God is in it and He's telling you to do it, then He's going to provide everything that you need going forward. So out of nowhere, I got a call from Verizon Media. First to do an in-person gig, then for Black History Month. So this is, now we're into 2020. So it's January 2020. I got the email when I was down with my brother. Come back, did that gig. They called me back the next month to virtually DJ their office party. And I did it right here in front of these lights, in front of these cameras. And got a check, got a bag, and then the world shut down in March.
So it's kind of like I mean, like how he'll give you something before the world even knows what's happening, you know. And everybody, he doesn't really. So he trusted you really with that, because he doesn't give it to everybody. You understand what I'm saying? Like it was almost like he warned you ahead of time, so you can be set when the world shut down. You know what I mean? But I was talking about that today. How do you remember where you was when the world shut down and where you are now? Do you remember that? Like, and if He brought you through that, He is going to bring you through this next thing. Because I mean, that was, but you know, it's crazy. Some people it was more horrific for than it was for others. Yo, I had more peace in a restricted situation than I had in a freedom situation, if you want to be because I knew, okay, well, Lord, you know I work for myself. What we gonna do? You know that I need you. What we gonna do? I work for myself, God. Then when He shut down, when He shut down the government, not the government. When He shut down the shops, I was kind of like, okay. And I had a client.
Well, same with me. Like
you work for yourself.
A musician. When I'm not doing this, they shut down all the restaurants, and bars, and all the venues. So we had nothing. At least I thought.
At least you thought. That's right.
But thank God for
creativity.
The churches, because the churches they turned into TV studios. And they still had me to come in and do what I normally do, and still pay me what they normally pay me. And we have to trust God through the whole process. The whole process.
He's a way maker. Yeah, all I hear for me, I wasn't working in February when the pandemic came. Let me not say that. I had just got hired the February 10th. So I had to go through orientation and everything, and then they're like, you got internet at home? When I say just got hired, February 10th, and they're like, you got internet at home? I'm like, yeah, why? They're like, oh, because the parent company was in China. They had already shut them down in December. So they're like, they're closing us down. My very first day at work, going through orientation, we're about to shut down, and we want to know if you would like to continue on with the process. We'll train you, but as of they shut down before the world shut down in March.
Wow. So
Because they knew that it was coming because
Mhm.
the parent company
Mhm.
was in China.
Mm.
So they had shut down, and they're like, we're about to shut us down. So my birthday's on the 14th. By the 21st, we was done.
Mm.
But I still had a job, and I had just started because my previous job in December
Mhm.
had closed down.
Mhm.
And I'm like, Lord, what do we do?
Mhm.
I still got
Mhm.
baby. Well, they
Mhm.
wasn't babies, but I still got kids
I
to
have
take
kids.
care
Yeah,
of.
I have
I have
kids.
kids. They wasn't working.
Mhm.
So what I'm gonna do?
Mhm.
I promise you, the whole the duration of the whole time the world was shut down,
Mhm.
I worked from home because
Mhm.
they trained me and did everything.
Mhm.
God was able to provide.
Mhm.
I didn't know what I was gonna do.
Mhm.
Me and my kids was gonna be homeless.
Mhm.
We didn't have nowhere to go,
Mhm.
but God provided.
That's what I'm saying.
And so what I'm seeing is so many people that don't have jobs. I mean, people they're saying jobs. We don't have jobs. We don't have
Mhm.
jobs. I'm like, why are people not working?
Mhm.
Because people have been making a way and they've been
Mhm.
providing
Mhm.
so long. We don't need your job
Mhm.
because God has been providing for us.
Mhm.
So now the government is all scared because
Mhm.
they don't have people to, because God has provided for so many people.
Mhm.
So God is a way maker.
He is like he provides. Like
Mhm.
he you know, like we was talking about this, how they laughed at Noah when God told him that a flood was coming, and told him to build the ark.
You gotta think they. Could you imagine somebody outside?
I'm just saying.
Outside building a big ark. And you're
Yeah.
like, what the hell is going on?
You know, and it's like, so I feel like when he shares things with you and you tell people, they think they think I'm a little nuts sometimes.
What I
When
say to
they
you?
do,
I'm
they
like,
think
I'm
I'm
like,
nuts when I
be
be
crazy no
saying
more.
stuff, but
I wanna
I'm
be
telling you,
normal.
I'll be like,
I wanna
telling
be
you,
normal.
you know, and it's crazy because it's like remembrance. Like I remember. I remember where I was at that exact time. Even last year this time I remember where I was in my life and just where I'm at now. You know, and it's a beautiful place.
And growth is beautiful.
It's a beautiful place.
It's daily.
Yeah.
Because even this morning.
Secondly,
What was that? Yesterday morning.
Go ahead.
Yesterday morning. I was in a phone yesterday, but today I'm in
But
a different
we
place.
pulled you right on about that thing. Come on here. We pulled you right on about that thing.
I don't want to talk to nobody.
Yeah, no, we ain't doing that. That ain't even your personality. Get out of
It's
here.
not. But that's what life. Ups
Balance.
and downs.
Yep.
Balance.
That's the balance
That's
of
the
it. Even
balance.
with Mike, sometimes I'd be like, nah, son, get out of here. Get out of here. Tell him, Mike.
Yeah, you're right.
Yep.
But you need that too.
Yeah.
And we all
I know
need
y'all like,
it.
why this nigga so optimistic all the time? You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying. You know, like,
It's balance.
yeah.
Remembering. Is
Remembering
balance.
it, yeah, because it's like you do have to go there. I always say this: go there, but don't stay there.
And anything, that's the balance.
Yeah.
Don't stay there. Don't stay there. I just feel like, honestly, for me, it's just staying out the funk. Gratitude.
We
Gratitude.
talked about that today.
Gratitude. When I talked about it today too. It's gratitude. I just stay in the gratitude and just feel like, God, whatever it is that you want me to see, I thank you. Because I don't know what it is, and I'm so dumb sometimes. Just so clueless.
Well, what it is control. We just, you know, we have the need to be in control. Like, even with this guy. Like, I'm kind of like, I don't know what the devil going on here. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, I let him do his thing. Because I'm not in control.
Yeah.
I'm not.
It's hard for me to be like, oh, hey, I don't want to be.
I'm not in control. But that's a good place to be because just because I thought that he wasn't letting me know what was going on, I ain't gonna lie, Mike, I was a little upset. I was like, he's not saying anything. So I didn't think anything was happening. And when he texted me, what was that, yesterday? I don't know, Stash, I don't know if you're listening, but I was in tears because I was like, yo, like, wow. So sometimes we have to just sit back and shut up.
Yeah.
And give somebody else control.
Yeah.
Because you're not in control. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing like with God. Like, yo, let him do it. He's working it out. He's doing it. He is, but he ain't saying nothing. You know what I'm saying?
And that be the thing. Because I can't speak for everybody. I know me. I think your personality is we got to feel like, all right, if I know that it's coming together, because if it's not, then I'm going to have to jump in there. But sometimes you don't even know to jump in there and do. Let him do his thing. because
Like,
he doing it.
and he is. It just don't look like it.
Yeah, because you don't know what's going on. But that's just like God on the other side of the mountain. God be, and then you stay to the mountain move. You don't know how it's coming because you ain't putting that energy into it. Let God take care of it. He gonna move it. Just let him do it. But it's hard because you're ones for me, I'm the one that's always the one. If it ain't getting done, it's not done right, I gotta jump in and put that elbow grease in to make sure that it's done right. How other people do it?
Yeah. Like I always say, it's hard to surprise me because I'm always in control. Like, I mean, God bless the person that can. Because it's very hard because I always just got, well, he did it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, you did it, you know? But, you just, remembering to forget and forgetting to remember sometimes.
And it's a struggle.
It is.
But it's something that you have to work on. I feel like every part of this growing, healing process is definitely something that you got to work at daily. And it's not something that you can be like, all right, I'm fixed. It's a continual, lifelong process.
And that's what I said. I was like, it's not just okay. Like, I was listening to something the other day, and she was saying how you're going to heal to the day you die. I was like, damn. Like, so that means, so what that mean? Something's gonna constantly hurt me? Like, what is that?
If you look at it, how I just recently started looking at it, when you look at the heart machine, it goes up and down, up and down. So each hurt is a down part. Because if you ever pay attention to when they're monitoring your heart, the up parts is like when there's a go tick up, but then the down parts is a tick down, and it's a pain. Like, you know, it's a pain.
Like a rhythm.
Yes. So we look at the low points, and that's where you look at it, okay, that's pain, but then God brings you back up. So life is constantly up and down. Once it's the flat line, that's death. But when it's up and down, even if it goes, you know, people, when you start looking at that low rhythm and it's slow and it starts mellowing out, when people's life is being taken from them, the ups are no longer there, the downs are no longer there, it's even. So to me, I feel like the pains are the down points and the happiness is the up points, and you're going to have both for the rest of your life in order for it to be life.
In order for it to be balanced out too.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I went to the doctor the other day, and he was checking my blood pressure, and he was like, oh, your blood pressure is perfect. And I'm sitting here like, well, thank you. You know what I'm saying? Because, I mean, for the average person, for me, you know, the things that I go through and the things that I deal with, yeah, my blood pressure should be sky high. But I'm grateful that it's not. And I was just kind of like, wow, that's amazing that, you know, at my age, most women my age do have high blood pressure. They do have, because they're stressed out. You know, they do have high blood pressure. They do have all of these health issues that, you know, I don't have. And I was just like, and I said to the guy, I said, because I really don't worry. And I think it's really your attitude. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not walking around here angry. I let stuff go. I'm not harboring anything towards anyone. It's kind of like whatever. You know, I feel like when you have that whatever attitude, it just makes life easier. You know what I mean?
It does. It definitely makes life easier. It's just the point of getting there. It's just the point of getting there.
So I want to thank y'all for sitting with me today. Sylvia's off, but I want to thank her for coming on. I really appreciate that.
I like her energy.
I do too.
Yeah.
If y'all want to be on next week, DM me and I'll send you the link. And what do you remember? And God's going to remember what you forgot.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
And he didn't forget.
He didn't forget.
So keep on believing him because he ain't forget. Okay?
Absolutely.